Today we're going to learn how to layer using wax cotton. This is a good skill for people who like to stay outdoors for an extended period of time. Wax cotton works really well in cold weather and it's inexpensive to make your own. I have two pairs of socks in my hand, one pair of wool socks and one pair of hard-wearing synthetic socks. Maybe nylon or polyester, whatever you happen to have. These are merino wool socks. You can also use regular wool socks. Wool works really well next to the skin. Merino wool isn't itchy. The other type of wool can be itchy. But the problem with wool is it is not hard wearing. If you just wear wool socks, the socks will soon have holes. That's why you need to use some synthetic socks, like socks made of polyester or nylon or whatever you happen to have around. Some kind of a dress sock works really well, or other types of socks will work just fine. So I'm putting the synthetic sock over top of the wool sock. This will protect the wool sock from wear, and it allows me to stay nice and warm. You can wear two pairs of wool socks and then put a synthetic sock over top as well. Now, that's what it looks like. It looks just like a sock. And my feet will be nice and warm. And I'm tucking in the polar fleece pants into the boots. The boots should be too big for you. The boots should be cut a little bit higher than any steps you're going to be walking down, so that the ends of the boots don't catch on the steps. The boots also have to be too big for you, quite a bit too big, because you want to trap a warm air bubble inside of the boots. So they shouldn't fit tightly, they should fit really, really loosely. I also put good insoles into my boots because this makes the boots much more comfortable. The boots sometimes wear out at the heel, but that's okay because rubber boots are usually quite inexpensive. This idea is similar to what they do with big winter boots. It's usually a rubber outside and then the inside is a felt lining. Instead of the felt lining, you've just used wool socks. So it works quite well. I'm wearing polar fleece pants and a dress shirt, and I'm putting a wool jacket over top of the dress shirt. I like the dress shirt because it has a collar and it has long sleeves, which stops the wool jacket from being itchy. And this doesn't have to be an expensive shirt. You can just use any old shirt that you happen to have around. Again, the shirt should be nice and loose, and the wool jacket should also be nice and loose. You want your winter clothes all to be really loose, because this helps trap a warm air bubble. I'm closing all the buttons now. It takes a little while. So now I have a shirt underneath, and then I have a wool layer over top. If you don't have a wool jacket, you can use some other type of wool that you happen to have, a pullover. You can even wear two pullovers if you need to. You'll notice that both the dress shirt collar and the wool jacket collar are sticking up. So the dress shirt collar stops the wool collar from itching my neck, and the collars act like a shawl and they protect my neck from the cold. Now I'm putting on nylon wind pants, and these are sort of like a shell over top of the polar fleece, and the polar fleece is the insulation, and the nylon wind pants are like the shell that stop the wind from blowing in, and this forms a warm air bubble around your legs. This is kind of what snow pants do, but you're doing it in two pieces. Now I have a windbreaker, a nylon windbreaker. Again, it is too big, and it also has a hood. It is a loose piece of clothing with a zipper. So it goes over top, and again, the collar is standing up, and I zip it up. So all the collars are standing up, or are folded up. I'm going to take off my glasses, and now I'm going to put on a balaclava. The balaclava is going to go underneath these sticking up collars. So I'm working the balaclava underneath all the collars, which are sticking up, the dress shirt, the wool jacket, and the nylon windbreaker collar. And it is now protecting my head from the cold. You can see this is what it looks like from the back. You can see all the clothes are loose. You could just go out in the cold like this with a nylon shell, but I'm going to add a wax cotton layer on top because the nylon and the wax cotton absolutely stop wind from cutting through and making you cold. The nylon pants are there to allow you to slide into the wax cotton pants. They're kind of like a liner, and they also act as a secondary layer of wind protection, and they help maintain the warm air bubble. Now I'm putting the polar fleece pants and the nylon pants into the inside of the boot. This sometimes takes a little bit of work because the nylon sometimes gets a little bit stuck on the wax cotton pants. Just be patient and pull it through and be gentle that you don't wreck your nylon pants or your polar fleece pants. You'll get it to work. And then the wax cotton pants will go over top of the boot to stop snow from going into the boot or water from going into the boot. So you have the polar fleece and the nylon wind pant inside the boot and the wax cotton pant over top of the boots. The wax cotton pants are, of course, too big. They're much too big, and they're held up using a belt. They have to be several sizes too big, again, because you want to form a warm air bubble, and you want to be able to move well. So these pants are way, way bigger than what I'd normally wear. Several sizes. And that's just fine, because they're acting kind of like a snow pant. It's like a snow pant, but it is a series of pants which are layered on top of each other, and this gets the same effect and it works very well. So now I'm feeding the belt in and tightening the pants. The belt keeps the very loose pants from falling down. If you want to save time, you can keep the belt in the pants and you can hold the pants with your knees. And I adjusted my hood a little bit. Now I'm going to slide into the pants, the wax cotton pants, like this, and I'm trying to push the nylon pants down a little bit so that they come out the bottom of the leg. It's a little hard to do this because the nylon sometimes sticks to the wax cotton. Now I'm tightening the belt. You can make it relatively tight. And now I'm going to pull the nylon and the polar fleece pants down so they protect my entire leg, and the nylon and polar fleece pants are going to be put into the inside of the boot, and the wax cotton is going to be put to the outside of the boot. If the pants are too big, that's fine. If the bottom of your pants wears a little bit on the ground when it touches the heel of your boot, that's fine too. So I'm doing this to the other leg. The nylon and the polar fleece are put inside the boot, and the wax cotton pants are put over top of the boot. Just be patient. Now I've finished. Once you've learned how to dress like this, it will go much quicker. Getting dressed will take much less time than this video. Now I have the wax cotton pants on, and now it's time to put the jacket on. Again, the jacket should be too loose. This jacket is actually too small. It should be quite a bit looser. I'm going to grab the sleeve with my hand and push it through the wax cotton jacket. Now I'm working the sleeves down into position. You can see I'm adjusting my clothes the entire time. I'm putting the nylon hood over top of my balaclava. I'm just adjusting it now. You can see how I am layering. This is a technique which allows you to trap a warm air bubble around your body. So the warm air rises, so the warm air doesn't go out the bottom. It might go at the top, but it doesn't go at the bottom. And you want the jacket long enough to cover your bum so that you are nice and warm, so that the wind doesn't get to you. Now, you put a wool hat over top of the balaclava. And I'm adjusting the collars to make sure they're all sticking up. Now I'm putting the hood on top, and I'm adjusting the drawstrings. So you can see I have hat layers as well. A balaclava, a wool hat, and a nylon hat. And I'm going to put a waxed cotton hood on top of that. So what I'm doing now is I'm picking up a neck warmer. I'm just going to hold it between my legs, and now I'm going to tighten the drawstring of the nylon windbreaker, and I'm going to put the ends inside of the waxed cotton coat. And now I'm going to put the hood on, and I'm going to knot the string. The idea is to sort of tighten the waxed cotton hood over the nylon hood to form a warm air bubble. I'm going to adjust my jacket and do up the top buttons as much as I can. If this jacket were looser, I could do up all of the buttons, but it's a little too tight. Now I'm going to do a knot and a bow, just like you do on your shoes. And I'm just about done. Now the neck warmer is going to go over top of all the collars. The waxed cotton, the waxed cotton drawstring knot, the nylon collar, the wool jacket collar, and the dress shirt collar. You can see this neck warmer holds everything in place and keeps the drawstring out of the way, and it stops warm air from going out of your neck, so it keeps you warm. I'm going to put on some sunglasses in case it's a really sunny day, so I don't get snow blindness if I'm going to be out for a long time. You can actually get quite a headache if you don't wear sunglasses and the sun is shining. Now I'm taking some thick material women's tights, and I cut the foot off, and I cut them off relatively high up the leg, so it's just a cloth tube, and I'm folding it back over itself. So I'm slipping one of these thick material cut-off stockings over each arm, and the front part of the stocking is folded back over the back part of the stocking. Now I'm going like this, so you can see the idea is that these will form arm gaiters, and they will stop cold air and snow from going into the crack between the gloves or mitts and the sleeve. Now I'm going to put on the mitts. It's easier if you take the strings off of the mitts. If you don't, you can just feed them into the top of the mitt. And I'm putting the mitts on now. And then I'm going to slip the gaiter over top of the mitts. So it acts kind of like a leg gaiter, but it's on your arm. It's really easy to do this. So now no snow will get into my sleeve. This is another view. You can see I have nice mitts on, and I'm going to grab the cut-off stocking and slip it over top of the mitt. So now there is nowhere, now the snow cannot get in between the sleeve and the mitt, and I'll be nice and warm, and it'll hold my sleeve in place and all the layers in place. That's what it looks like. See, I can bend and move around quite easily because these clothes are very loose. And this allows a warm air bubble to form. You lose about half of your heat through your head, so the head is nicely protected. And another place where you lose a lot of heat is through your hands. So that's what it looks like. And if I want, I can put the balaclava up and slip the neck warmer over the balaclava, and then my entire face is protected. So if it's really cold, you can do this. But right now I don't need to do this. The basic concept is that I'm just using a bunch of layers. The inside layers are more insulation, and the outside layers are more to stop the wind from blowing in and chilling you. This stops the wind chill. And they're also harder wearing, and the outer shell protects from sometimes rain and moisture, and also or wetness, a little bit of wetness, and also from wind, and it stops the warm air inside from getting out. The Inuit use a similar design in their clothes, which they've used for thousands of years. The clothes are all big and loose, and the air just gets trapped around their body, forming a warm air bubble. So I've sort of used the same principles here with this clothing. This is all clothing. This is not specialized clothing. These are just clothes that you can probably get in a regular store. So that's the nice thing about this system, is that you can just use regular clothes, and you can have survival clothes if you know how to put them together and modify them a little bit. Wax cotton performs really well when it is cold and windy. I wouldn't say that the stuff that I've produced is really good in the rain, but it's definitely rain resistant. And it is very hard wearing, so it'll slip through brambles. Here's another type of jacket which will also work. It has a collar, but it doesn't have a hood, so you just put up the collar. You can see how stiff this clothing is. It's being treated with paraffin wax, and it's soaked in paraffin wax. So it is, if you get dirt on it, the dirt has nowhere to go because the clothing is already soaked in wax. So it's quite stiff, and the stiff clothing helps form a warm air bubble around you. I can also use work gloves. So I'm using welding gloves now. I wouldn't weld using this clothing or do anything near fire or related to fire or flame because it's coated in wax. So this is how I put on the welding gloves, and I just slip them over top, and I just use the welding gloves as work gloves. I wouldn't use this clothing anywhere where there's a chance of it catching on fire. Be very careful. Now I'm going to show you how I put leather gloves on, and I use the arm gaiters as well. So these are deerskin leather gloves, and I just slip them on, and then I slip the arm gaiters over top, and the gloves have been treated with Vaseline to make them a little bit more water resistant, or petroleum jelly. So there they are, and now I can reach into the snow and I won't get any snow up my sleeve. Now I'm going to show you how I manage the pants. This is more of a close-up shot. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking the nylon pants and the polar fleece pants, and I'm putting them inside of the rubber boot. I'm working them inside the boot, and then I'm putting the wax cotton pant over top of the boot. This is important because it stops the wind from getting in. Now I'm working the nylon pant and the polar fleece pant into the boot, into the inside of the boot, and I'm putting the wax cotton pant over top of the boot. That's what it looks like. The pants are almost to the heel of the boot. Sometimes I put some ice cleats on my boots. Something with these steel pegs seems to work well because they grab the ice nicely. The steel pegs work well for average use. There are also other options. This is what the pants look like up close. They've been really coated with mud, and then I just let the pants dry, and then I just dust them off with a brush, and that seems to work well. They're very resistant to dirt. You can see the clothing is all pretty loose. It's big and loose. It is not tight fitting, and it's supposed to be very loose. It's nice to have some pockets, and because it's so loose, there's a nice warm air bubble around me, and I can bend and move really easily. The wax helps the clothing slip through the forest branches. It's quite tough. I would not suggest smoking when you're wearing this clothing, or using any kind of pocket warmer which involves combustion or burning. When you're putting on layers, grab the sleeve like this with your fingers and then put it through the next layer. It's almost like a punch. See, I'm holding the sleeve with my fingers, and now I can easily push it through the next layer, and then I let go once the layer's through. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay warm, stay safe, and have a great day.